Back in the early 90s to the mid 2010s, every game had to have its own individual identity. You wouldn't get games mixed up that were in the same franchise or even in the same
The
genre.
smell of death
Diablo
surrounds
2
me. I
looked
do
different
not
from
have a
Call of
spell
Duty,
ready.
which looked different from Battlefield, which looked different from the Borderlands series. This is something the games have lost with recent trends and seasonal passes, battle royales, and even to a certain extent, live service games. This matters because games are starting to lose their identity. Every game seems to want you to buy a skin, a battle pass, or eventually adds a battle royale to it. And I would say that this happened after
The
around the mid
sanctity of this
2010s
place
that
has
the
been
games lost a
fouled.
sense of identity and being individuals and wanted to make a profit instead of making a game with passion. Borderlands, which has recently had a new game that seems to be a return of a franchise, originally exploded in popularity in 2012 with the release of Borderlands 2. This game has a unique cel-shaded style that is not seen in many other games. If you were shown photos of Borderlands 2, you would be able to tell which game is which, especially when you compare it to a game like Mass Effect 3, which released earlier the same year. In contrast, a game like The Binding of Isaac was released in 2011 and was a small indie project which became a monumental success and is still one of the biggest roguelikes to ever be released. Exploring religious psychosis and guilt and other deep subjects with the cartoonish hand-drawn aesthetic gave the game a sense of identity that we haven't seen any other game come close to having. Some of the games that have fallen into this trap of having a seasonal pass and monetization and switching to live service were the Diablo series. Diablo 1 and 2 were genre-defining games that people still play today, and that I still use for the gameplay in a bunch of my videos, even though mine is a mod of Diablo 1. These games were dark and had a gritty aesthetic to them, while also having gameplay and a grind that kept you coming back to play them. After Diablo 2, the game lost its dark and gritty writing, focusing more on the action part of action RPG, whereas the other game was focused on the RPG aspect. This isn't the only thing that the games have lost with time, though. Becoming more colorful and
Master,
having more action
greetings,
isn't
good master.
the biggest
Greetings!
problems of the game, or at least I don't think so. Lots of people might not remember this, but Diablo 3 had a marketplace that was shut down shortly after launch. This marketplace would allow you to use real-life money to buy stuff off the marketplace. And in the beginning of Diablo 3, legendaries were exceedingly rare, which led to them costing a lot of money to buy. Diablo 4 has increased the monetization with skins that can cost anywhere from $10 to $20 to $30. It has a season every 3 to 4 months, which they have
Hello, good
changed now
friend.
to a different name, but it still costs about $10 to $20 to buy, and it's at least free a year, maybe for a year. And the big expansions of a game that cost $30 to $60 too, depending on what you paid for. And this is a game that you already paid for, that you have to spend all of this money on. The Call of Duty games are another one that has fallen into monetization. While this is a bit different than Diablo because the Call of Duty games were charging before the rise of monetization and live service, with the Black Ops games having the most, I believe, with the skins and with the map bundles for multiplayer and zombies. These were pretty fairly priced. With maps and skins being maybe $10 to $20. This is nowhere near the price tags we see now of $30 to $60. Minecraft as well, which was a live service game, and still is, and is one of, if not the biggest live service game, also had skin bundles and different DLCs that they would sell. However, these have remained around the same price, with most of them being around $5 to $20. The problem with some of this is that the maps lock you out of stuff. You cannot play these maps, and it can make it really hard, especially if you want to go back and play the older games if you do not have them. When it comes to battle passes, we didn't see this show up until the rise of Fortnite. Fortnite will go down as the greatest battle royale to ever be released. It was reasonably priced at $10 for a regular battle pass or $25 for a deluxe. However, the game also featured a store which allowed for different microtransactions. It would allow you to buy skins, it would allow you to buy pickaxes, and it would allow you to buy a glider. As the game has progressed, though, we have seen this just go from skins to and emotes to now having shoes, music, cars, different battle passes, or different transactions that all cost around $20. The game was popular, and a lot of the biggest influences over time would make it sound like that you needed to buy these skins. This was only made a further problem whenever they started to release the icon skins where you could dress up as your favorite influencers. This became a very successful business tactic if you had a monopoly quite like Fortnite did on the Battle Royale. This became part of the industry standard that we have now. Games such as Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, Apex all ended up picking up seasonal passes. This is because you already play the game. If you're a big enough fan of the game, you'll spend the $10 to get the skins. However, some games and some series took this further. Call of Duty ended up making a Battle Royale in Black Ops 4 called Blackout, which ended up failing. Later they released Warzone, which is Fortnite's biggest competitor when it comes to Battle Royales. Battlefield and Counter-Strike at one point also tried to have a Battle Royale mode. They ended up failing. And we still have games now such as Apex, which has a Battle Pass and is a Battle Royale exclusive. The reason why this came into my mind is because with the release of Battlefield 6, a lot of the streamers who play Battle Royale games extensively has started to say that the game needs a Battle Royale. Why has this become the norm? Well, I would argue that it's due to the fact that not only does it work, it's that we continue to spend money on it. The developers have stopped asking what is fun and what keeps people logged on and spending money. No. And we continue to fall for it, and we continue to give them money. This is not due to laziness, but this is due to fear of losing money and customers. And I think this is the reason why we've seen a rise in indie games such as Balatro. Indie games are made by small development teams with a passion for gaming. They do not want the game to blow up. They want to make a passion project that people can play and fall in love with. This was originally the standard for games. But as games became more popular and more people were willing to spend more money on it, companies took advantage of that.